Hey everybody, and welcome back to Emerald Coast. We are in the last day of late summer, and I thought we'd go out and mow a little bit hay today. I'm gonna take our 7810 and our New Holland disc spine, and we're gonna go up in the I guess the northwest corner and see about mowing that field. I was thinking the other day that we haven't really done a lot of mowing beyond setting the course play mower off to do the job. I thought today we'd go out and mow the grass ourselves. And first we need to fuel up our tractor. Put off that. Pulling up. And let's see if we can't go get some grass mowed today. As you can see in the forecast, we got rain scheduled for tomorrow. So the plan is to get the grass cut this morning. And hopefully we can have everything cut by midday. And then come out here in the late afternoon with our rake, get it all raked up into hay, and hopefully get it all baled up this evening before the rain comes in tomorrow. Not really sure if we're going to get a morning shower or an afternoon shower tomorrow. Then take a look there. We got 6 days of sunshine going into autumn. Couldn't ask for a better early autumn. Sadly, though, I don't think we're going to have any crops to bring in, other than just plenty of hay to bring in, plenty of hay to cut, rake, and bale up. Suspect our corn or soybeans will come due mid-autumn. One of the two will come due mid-autumn. But worst case scenario, both will come due in late autumn, and we will be extremely busy. And probably that's when it's going to want to rain. Just have to play that by ear. Take it one day at a time. And today we are going to do a little bit of mowing. So let's bring it on up in here. Shift that over there. Lower our deck. Get her wound up. We're off. We're going to do this field by hand. I have to tell you, I know we've mowed this field at least 4 times now. And I can tell you all 4 times I have done it via course play. I don't think I've mowed this field by hand using this particular disc spine. I think when I was doing some play testing on the map, might have come up here with a Big M and did a little mowing. But that's about it. I don't think we've ever actually not hand mowed, but basically mowed this this area without the aid of course play. So this ought to be fun. Not familiar with this map. Basically, the dark green clump texture is the mowable grass, and the grass that I'm driving on is basically just a foliage layer. So it is what I call indestructible grass. No reason to try to mow all the way over there to the bush line, tree line, because none of that I'm driving in is mowable. Just this really dark green, and then the mow state is this much lighter color. Really do like the grass on this map because everything is such high contrast. It's quite easy to tell what's been mowed, what's not been mowed. Guys, we are down to the final weeks before Farm Sim 19 comes out. We're in this a little bit ahead of time, but by the time this video airs, we will be within probably 4.5 weeks of Farm Sim 19's launch. In fact, I think if I recall my calendar correctly, this video might be coming out on the 17th, if I'm remembering the dates correctly. So we are literally, if it is the 17th, a month and 3 days before the launch of Farm Sim 19. So we've seen up to this point several fact sheets, some of existing equipment that's been in 17. Some of it's brand new for 19. We've seen gameplay videos. We've seen plenty of information related to new crops, some new vehicles to harvest those crops, new features like weeds and herbicides, and we've seen birds. We've seen well, one thing we haven't seen, at least as of the recording of this video, we've not seen wild deer. We're told that there was going to be wildlife in the map. We told there was going to be birds that were going to basically follow you around, kind of random birds, just like pedestrians and stuff. We've seen those in videos, but we've not seen the deer that are supposedly going to be wandering through the forests, possibly coming out. It would be so sweet if deer could come out like into this field here, let's say in the evenings. Let's say you're out here doing some field work in the evenings, and you pop up over this ridge and you see 4 or 5 deer just down there at the tree line, eating away at the grass. That would be so cool. Maybe somebody, if it's not base game, maybe somebody can figure out how to do that in a mod map. That would be pretty wicked, I think. Now we've seen some new equipment fact sheets. So we are coming down to the final hours, final days before the actual release. And to some degree, we're coming down to the final days, if not already, the final days before Farm Sim 19 goes gold. Typically, phrase, going gold is when the product is ready to be released to manufacture. Because, even though there is quite the digital distribution in today's day and age of gaming and software, there is still, to some degree, the physical media distribution. Now, you can buy Farm Sim 19 Collector's Edition. You can buy it in disc form. So, when you do that, you have to get it in a disc. So the disc has to be made. Disc needs to be pressed with the software. The disc needs to be labeled, printed, screen printed. The packaging needs to be made up and prepared and packaged, and all of that needs to be shipped off to distributors and then off to stores for placing on store shelves. So obviously none of that happens overnight. So at some point prior to actual release date, the actual app software needs to be done so they can be sent off to be pressed to discs. Discs can be printed, packaged, shipped to distribution. Distribution is shipped to the stores, and then out to you as customers, and me as customers. So how long does that take? I'm not really sure. I'm not into software distribution, but I would speculate that probably is 4 to 6 weeks ahead of release time. And if it's 4 to 6 weeks ahead of release time, then we are right there on the cusp of having the game in its gold format, if it's not already. said I'm recording this a little bit ahead, so maybe on Giants Discord they've announced that they have passed that milestone, if you will. Mods for 17 have basically come to a virtual halt as far as Giants is concerned. Right now, there's quite a few mods that are pending release, pending testing. You've got even some pretty big name mods, highly anticipated mods, are just still sitting there in the testing phase, and everyone's just hoping that they make their way out into the world before 19 drops. And I'm thinking internally in my head that, of course, leading up to this gold date that is on the calendar in the Giants office for when they have to have the software ready to be shipped off for press, to be pressed on the disc, that they're probably not really focused too much on 17 mods, and all hands are on deck for 19's final push. So we might not see that many mods show up, that many more mods show up for 17 until that golden milestone is reached. Then I'm kind of expecting they will get back to 17 testing mods and get a fair number pushed out, so that then they can make some final preparations for possibly enhancements or whatever that might need to be done to 19, the classic 0-day patch, 0-day fix for things, last minute things that just quite couldn't make the gold deadline. Can sneak in a 0-day patch. You install the game and the first thing you get is, oh, install the update. So exciting times. Other pretty cool things that have come out has been the Oregon DLC with American Truck Simulator. It's looking outstanding. The visuals on the DLC are just amazing. Really tell that they have SCS has stepped it up with how the Oregon DLC is looking at this point. And it really makes you wonder what's in store next. Where are they going to go? Are they going to go to another Rocky Mountain state like Colorado? Are they going to go to Utah? Are they going to go to Texas? Are they going to go, who knows where they're going to go? Idaho? Montana? Washington? I got to come up with what states would connect to an existing state, and I'm not super good with my state geography, so some of those states I rambled off might not technically be feasible because they don't actually connect with other states that are currently in the game. What we're going to do is trying to finish making this circle. Then I think we might start making just some up and down passes. Might cut the field in half and just make some general up and downs. Let's see if I come down, loop around. Yeah, that'll work. I think that'll work. I'm going to cut the field in half, or try to cut the field in half here. When I do that, I'm going to swing the boom back towards the center and everything. The way this is working, I'm actually just running a pump. Not actually running a PTO shaft up through the boom arm. So I can swing the boom arm to the center and continue to run the mower. Then once I get the center opened up, swing the boom arm back out and we'll make just up and down passes, kind of expanding and making the middle wider as we go. Because obviously we just can't keep making right turns here the entire time. We will eventually run out of, we'll start making turns too tight for what we can do. I'm going to go up here and square off this corner and loop around and try to get to the, figure out where the middle is. Might just make this bump out here the middle and just cut the field right there. That's what we'll do. Hey guys, since we're mowing, let's ask for some feedback on what's your all's favorite mower, in-game, mod. Let me know. When you head out to the field to cut some grass, what's your go-to? Deck. I have to say that I kind of like the Coon butterfly mowers. It's a mod. I really like this mower. There we go. But this mower is not for everyday use, not for everybody. That's for sure. Alright, let's see here. Let's pick a point. We're just going to drive towards, we're going to drive right toward that gap in the trees. Let's lower our mower deck. And we're just going to drive straight towards that. Doesn't look like it's overly, not square. We're not cutting the field in half. We're kind of doing a interesting thing, but that's okay. The lines will be fairly straight at least. Just be a little off. Probably should have aimed for that barn as opposed to this little gap in the trees. But it's okay. Okay, everybody will follow us now because we're the ones that have paved the way by mowing here. We're cutting her off. And then we're going to swing the arm back out. And then we're just going to make up and down passes, ever widening this center lane, if you will. Do you like the trail behind mowers? Do you like the butterfly mowers? How many of you are Big M fans? Which, by the way, if you didn't know, the Big M is going to be a staple of Farm Sim 19. They announced that way back at FarmCon, I think. The Big M was going to be included in Farm Sim 19 as standard equipment. It's pretty cool. Those big time grass farmers. Just this year I saw my first butterfly mower. Here in the States, at least where I'm at, that's not typically something that we see too very often. Or at least hadn't seen too very often in the past. You know, is a farmer using a butterfly mower. Typically they've been pull behind mowers like this, or just well, disc spines. That's pretty much what you see. I've seen a few 3-point mowers that hitch to the back and, you know, swing up. And then when you're mowing, it drops to the side. But typically not too many front 3-point hitch mowers, not too many butterfly mowers. But this year, I did see actually a tractor that had a mower on the front 3-point and a pair of butterfly mowers on the back. And it was like, whoa! What is that? I wasn't expecting seeing that here in the in Virginia. I don't remember what tractor it was hooked to, if it was hooked to a Massey Ferguson or if it was hooked to a Fendt or what it was hooked to. I kind of forget, but I was kind of still in shock of, ooh, what is that? I don't even remember the brand of the mowers. I was kind of still in shock seeing those mowers. But there does seem to be kind of an increasing presence of non-American brand tractors that you typically wouldn't see, or I wouldn't see growing up, have made their appearance. Just yesterday, I saw a pair of Fendt tractors pulling some big liquid manure tanks, going down the road in opposite direction I was going. So I didn't really get a good look at the model to see what series they were. They were still pretty big. Visually, they were still pretty big looking, but I don't know if what series of Fendt they were. This makes first sighting of a Fendt tractor was probably about a year ago. I saw one in a little town right by where I work. I think I was out getting my hair cut. Got this interesting haircut place where you just you walk in, you don't make an appointment, you just kind of, it's probably a good dozen to 16 you know, barbers and hairdressers and whatever that are working there, and you just kind of wait your turn and get your hair cut by whoever is around. Pretty cheap haircut too. I think they only charge $8 for a guy's cut, which is a pretty cool deal. You know, we take my son off to get his hair cut. He's 4, and it's like, you know, $15. It's like, what are you talking about? Why is it $15 to cut a little kid's hair? But what I understand, that's kind of the rate. $8 is pretty cheap. That's pretty good service. I mean, they'll take the straight razor to the your neck. They'll shave up your neck. They'll do all kinds of stuff. Guess we're gonna break into a little bit of a musical mowing adventure, and we'll see if we can hammer this field out in a little bit, and see how long it takes for us to finish the field up. So guys, we are just about done mowing here. And while I was mowing, I was kind of thinking, what am I going to do with all these bales? I definitely don't need bales back at the cow farm, down the sheep farm. Don't really need to be taking all this grass or hay to compost master. So what on earth am I going to do with all these bales? Well, let's get this started here, and I'll show you what I think I'm going to do. Well, up here on top of the ridge is a shed, or is an enclosure, not an enclosure, but well, basically we got a pole barn up here, and I'm thinking about putting some haystacks under that barn, either using the Place Anywhere mod, or cracking the map open, putting it in editor, and duplicating the hay storage that's down at the main cow farm, and putting two of them up here under this pole shed for storing hay bales that have come off this field from this year and maybe even subsequent years, simply because I don't need them at the main farm now. We could have secondary bale storage up here, and quite frankly we can sell those bales or use them at the compost master if demand necessitates or requires, let's say that. So that's what I think I'm going to do. I think I'm going to put the bale stacks up there under that shed there, or enclosure, or whatever you want to call it, and I'm going to put two under there. I'm going to flip one 180 degrees. They're kind of back to back, kind of like the way at the cow farm the hay and the straw one is. And we'll just put those bales that come off of this field up in there. We'll either haul them off during winter, or figure out what else we're going to do with them at some point later. Well, when we started this mowing job, I was hoping that we'd be done sometime around noon. It's 12:17, so looks like we're going to be done a little bit closer to 12:40 or so. Not too terrible bad. I'm going to come in here a little bit later today and get the rake and rake all this up into hay. Get the baler out here and bale them all up. Then, of course, after I edit the map, either with Place Anywhere or GE, I want to put them in the bale stacks up there. And we'll eventually come back up here and take an observation of how many bales we've got up there off of this cut. So until next time, guys, happy farming.